we're on the bench. We're going to have a look and an inspection of this ECU and get in real close and see if we can see any faults. And just for fun, I've got a second one here. That one happens to be out of my new car, so Callum's car's actually gone back home to him. And we have serviced the transmission, it's running much nicer. We've calibrated the tyre, the wheel sensors, the TPMS sensors, and that's working nicely. But he doesn't actually know this, but his ECU's going off for a trip and is going to be repaired and checked. Let's have a look inside. I think I need to change cameras. Did you see anything wrong? It's because these don't fail like the early ones. They don't have big burn marks. The capacitors don't drop their load all over the board and burn everything. They're failing because of heat in the engine bay and components are cooking internally. So it's a different fault. Visually, with your eyeballs, you're unlikely to see anything. Unless there's water damage, we get a few of those. But most of the time, it's a component failure that you will not leave any visual signs. Got this other one. We actually do have something we can see on this one, but it's had a repair. It actually works fine. It's been tested. It's just a little untidy. We'll have a look at the second one. It's here. Too bit to spot. But it looks like a 3-year-old's been soldering. You came to me because someone had diagnosed that the injector wasn't working on the car. I spent about 3 hours working on that particular car after checking it here. I actually plugged it into Callum's car. There is a video on it, and it started and run Callum's car fine. I just happened to be in the area. It's like 5 hours drive away. Just happened to be there, and was diagnosing this car. And it 100% wasn't an ECU fault, and it was poor diagnosis that people had come up with it. And I actually think in this case that the ECU repairman probably repaired it, probably worked fine. The repair workshop said, no, it doesn't work, don't work, send it back. They had a second go, and then they said, oh, it doesn't work, number 6 injector's still not working. And they probably refunded the money for the repair. The ECU actually works fine. So this is what happens with poor repairs, or poor diagnosis, I should say. Okay guys, so as you can see from these ECUs with the 3D heads, they often have no visual issues that being visual that you can see. But I was doing another little job, and I thought I'd tuck it in this video, where I was looking for another ECU for my own car. Because what I want to have the flashed ECU and a standard ECU, so we can go to the dyno and I can show you the differences between the two of them. Or I can do back-to-back, putting someone else who's not me into the car, and we'll go for a drive and see if they notice a difference with the ECUs. So that's why I wanted to have the two ECUs. So I found an ECU and I plugged it in and I started to check the ECU. First step was, of course, to align the immobilizer on the replacement ECU to my car. And I plug it in. And I'm sitting in my garage with the car in front of me, and then suddenly I hear the injectors ticking. And they went off. I was like, that's kind of weird. That's not normal. And then I went and I was sitting down again, and then the fans started clicking on and off. And the relays were clicking. And the car was going nuts. There was lots of electrical stuff, and they were alternating back and forth. And I did manage to capture just this little snippet of video. This small. But there was a problem with that ECU. That same ECU, I didn't think it was repairable. And I challenged Josh to fix it. Let's see if he can. Personally, I would have thrown the thing away. Okay? Just bin it. It was... And I looked inside. There was water damage and a bit of corrosion in there. So... we're going to see if he can actually fix that ECU.